Yos!
Alright, what's going on, y'all? First off, hit me up on Twitter, PSN, and Twitch TV. Links will be down in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Now, the Order 1886, the shit is going down. There's like a shitstorm brewing. You know, fanboys are at it again. Basically, two pieces of news about the Order 1886. First off, is the fact that the game runs at 1080p 30 frames per second. Now, a lot of Xbox fanboys, they seem to be celebrating. I mean, I don't know what it is with these fanboys. To me, it's just like it's a comedy show. You know, it's like a comedy show for me. But the 30 frames per second, I mean, resolution and frames per second, people have been making a huge deal out of all this. First off, no one here is a game developer. No one here is a game developer. Like, people be talking as if they know everything about game development. They be talking as if they know how every game works. They be talking as if they know everything, you know. They're talking as if they know how to run games, how to make games. Like, people be talking crazy shit, left, right and center, you know what I'm saying? And I think the fanboyism is crazy. Like I said, the game runs at 1080p 30 frames per second. I mean, I know there's been a bit of talk about how the game runs at a lower resolution, but the game runs at 1080p 30 frames per second, and it's an exclusive, you know what I'm saying? Rise Son of Rome, which is a pretty good looking game. I'm not saying it's a good game because I don't think it's a good game, but graphically it's a really good game, right? And that runs at 720p 30 frames per second, and that's an exclusive, you know what I'm saying? People have been comparing all these frames per second and resolution and all this shit, but here's the thing: when it comes to an exclusive, I don't think the frames per second and resolution debate even matters, because everyone knows that the PS4 is considerably more powerful than the Xbox One. It's just a fact. I mean, there's no denying, there's no debating, none of that nonsense. It's just a fact, pure and simple. You know, like Chelsea won the Champions League 2 years ago. It's just a fact. I mean, there's no denying it, there's no debating it. We won the Champions League, it's a fact. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl. It's a fact. I mean, there's no denying it, there's no debating. A fact is a fact. You know what I'm saying? The PS4 is more powerful than the Xbox One. I mean, there's no point trying to debate this shit. It's just a fact. And you know, people have been just talking a lot of nonsense. And like I said, this is an exclusive. When you have a multi-plat game such as Tomb Raider, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, and then you see that the PS4 versions are running better and shit, I mean, it just proves and shows that one console is more powerful than the other. But when it comes to an exclusive, I mean, what are you going to compare it to? You know what I'm saying? If the game runs at 1080p 30 frames per second on the PS4, I mean, how would it run on the Xbox One? I mean, it's guaranteed that if this game was to be made on the Xbox One as well, I mean, it would be a lower resolution and lower frames per second, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, people are just making a big deal out of this. I just find it funny. I think it's like a comedy show. I mean, like I said, people be talking as if they know everything about what's going on when it comes to the development of this game. And the thing is, like I said, when it comes to multi-plat games and they're being compared, that's a different story. But when you're comparing two different, when you're comparing an exclusive game which is only on one console, I mean, you can't really compare it. For example, a game like Titanfall, which I have played Titanfall. The game does not, graphically the game's not good at all. I mean, it just looks like a Call of Duty game, just with a few beefed up resolution shit. The game, for example, at Titanfall, the game doesn't look anything special. I'll be honest with you, it's a good game, but graphically it's not. I mean, you can imagine that game on the PS3, and I'm not even kidding. I'm not trying to be a fanboy. If you play Titanfall on the Xbox One or even on the PC, you'd be like, you know what, this game, if I told you that game was on the PS3, you'd actually believe me. That's the thing. Whereas if I told you Infamous Second Son was on the PS3, you wouldn't believe me, right? So, you know, this 720p and 30 frames per second and 1080p and all that nonsense, people are just blowing it out of proportion. And of course, obviously, if it is possible to run at 1080p 60 frames per second, that would be great, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the Order 1886, from what we've been hearing, the game is going to be absolutely immense. Like, it's going to be immense, and no one has even seen footage of pure gameplay, and you know, people are talking like crazy. If the game runs at 30 frames per second and 1080p, I'm pretty sure the game is going to look pretty fucking amazing, graphically that is, you know what I'm saying? So I just think people have just, I mean, the Xbox fanboys, it's just funny, man. It's honestly, it's funny. Like I said, when it comes to exclusives, there shouldn't be a comparison because it's an exclusive, you know what I'm saying? But if it's a multiplayer and one version is running, then one version of the game is running better than the other version of the game, then that's when, you know, you can start talking about a few stuff here and there. But when it's an exclusive, I mean, what's the point even talking about it, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that the Order runs at 1080p, 30 frames per second, it's not really, I don't really see it as a big thing. I don't really see it as a big thing. I mean, at least it's running at 1080p. It's not as if it's 720p, 30 frames per second, which was the standard last generation, you know what I'm saying? New generation, 1080p, 30 frames per second, or 1080p, 60 frames per second, whatever it is. I mean, it's still a step forward. It's still a step forward. But like I said, I don't really see it as a big deal. I just can't wait to see the game in action because the game is looking amazing. So let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe for more. Cause like I said, for me, people are just catching on straws. You know, them Xbox fanboys, they've been grabbing hairs and shit. You know what I'm saying? I think it's funny. Pure comedy show. But I'm going to talk about the fact that Order 1886 doesn't have multiplayer is a good thing. I'm going to talk about that in my next video. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Yeah, like I said, let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. And I'm out, y'all.